Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of the Talanta Eye, where we form discussions and offer perspectives on issues that are making the news. And in today's newspapers, at least the NASA coalition case against the IEBC and the Jubilee government on the election results is still making headlines. And there's also Matiang'i's new blow to cheats and ghost stuff, which is going to be a very interesting and something that we're going to look at moving forward. But I want us to start with a story of something that we have discussed this week in depth. It is about the incoming governors resulting to loss of so many county jobs because most of them have vowed to kick out any county employee who supported their opponents or who is non-performing. But then that opens a big loophole for a lot of irregularities in the firing. So in the wake of that, Atwoli has threatened to sue governors of unlawful sackings. Now, Francis Atwoli is the central organization of trade unions head, is the boss, and he has been known, that is Kotu, and he has been known to come out very aggressively whenever there are issues of irregularities in terms of employers and employees. Now, he accused governors of overstepping their mandate should they attempt to violate labor laws by just firing of county employees at their will, which should not be the case because these are public service officials, and in as much as our opinions may differ, it's very important to understand that we are in a democratic country, and I think regardless of what happens, we should be able to maintain our opinions and know what to go about. Now, some of the cases that have come up is, of course, the Siaya County. We talked about Governor Colonel Rasanga, who has not minced his words, especially when it comes to firing those who opposed his campaign. And yesterday it was very chaotic in Siaya County as droves of youth blocked the offices as they didn't want some of the public officials to get them. And of course, most of them stayed away because no one wants to take the off chance that things will get chaotic. In Nairobi, on the other hand, Mike Sonko has suspended the board of Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company. And this is following a 1-week worker strike because the board refused to renew the contracts of the managing director and a few senior managers of alleged non-performance. But clearly, if you've been in Nairobi, there's been a lot of non-performance. We hear stories of a lot of water shortage. There's running sewage in almost everywhere in Nairobi. So I think I applaud him for getting into the office and taking action immediately because it is important to get some of these issues resolved. Now, in Meru, Governor Kiraitu Murungi has also started working with very great force because he suspended members of the county executive to pave way for a financial and human resource audit, which I feel should be the first move for all governors because you want to know where you're standing financially as a county so that you can understand if the deliverables that you're promising people are really achievable, because you might be promising to deliver to the people, you might actually be intending to do it and have the will to do that, but you might be financially crippled because maybe your predecessor left so many debts behind, or there's a looming human resource threat in there. So there are several other cases cited here, and you can check out more of those details on the Daily Nation on page 3. But on the same story, I've been able to understand that they were able to get the take of the Public Service Commissioner chairperson, that is Professor Margaret Kobia, who also took the same stand as the Kotu Secretary General, Francis Atwoli, and warned governors against arbitrary sacking of employees, saying that it would occasion a lot of hefty legal cost, and that's true because these people need a lot of severance packages, and she warned against taking off those legal payments from taxpayers' money because there are laws that should be followed when you are sacking individuals. It should not be left to the emotions of an individual. Fine, your ego is hurt that no one supported your campaign, but suck it up and find a way to set structures that put everyone in line. I think that's our opinion here at the Talanta Eye. But feel free to share your opinion with us on that issue because I feel that either way, getting to lose so many jobs is going to be a tall order. We already struggling with unemployment. let's not add to the burden of society. But of course, that does not cover, I'm not putting a cover blanket for all those non-performing county employees. If you're non-performing, if you're not doing anything to improve the county, then I think it's the high time you go home. Now, there's another story on the Daily Nation that makes me applaud the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, IEBC, because the IEBC has issued an order for candidates, agents, and political parties to remove all campaign materials that were erected for the August 8th election campaigns. I mean, if you have walked around whatever part of the country, there has been so much litter and our environment has been tarnished, and I think it's a high time that someone follows up with this. There's going to be a lot of sanctions and heavy fines if you don't take them out. The IEBC has given 1 week. So that is 1 week from today for all campaign material to be taken out. And this follows a similar directive that was given by NEMA, that's the National Environmental Management Authority, that is tasked with taking care of our environment. They also gave a similar directive, but then they also gave an option for candidates with an option for paying a fee. That is a deposit, that is to facilitate an environment deposit bond to facilitate the clearance of this material. And it's very, very important that you also keep a watch. Challenge your candidate, challenge those who won, those who lost, anyone who put up any such material, challenge them to take it out. Hold them to task, and let's see them being accountable for their actions, because this kind of accountability needs to be restored. Onto some rather devastating news. Lecturers are set to go on strike yet again. I call this devastating because most of the new university admissions are happening this coming week as from Monday. And if we throw the education sector again into crisis, bearing in mind that there were 2 strikes this year in March and July, which affected learning in public universities, because most of the schedules or the learning periods and timelines were really affected, and the repercussions are still being felt even now. Some people have had to push their semesters ahead, meaning they will be in school for longer. Others have had to have their exam dates postponed, meaning they'll have some conflict as they start a new semester. So if they actually go on strike again, and this is because of pending arrears in their collective bargaining agreement with the government, then it's going to be chaotic, and we don't want to do that with our education system, because education is what actually forms the basis of personal development and even economic development of this country. Now, we'll continue with this right after the break. Please stay tuned and tell us more about what you think of in the stories that we've discussed this far.
Audio Jungle.
Talanta Institute is the center of excellence, offering practical training in media studies, digital marketing, music studies, DJing, performing arts, hospitality, ICT, and computer studies. For more information, call us on 0734 777778 or visit our website at www.talanta.global. Talanta Institute, unveiling champions.
Welcome back to the Talanta Eye, where we form discussions from issues hitting on news or making headlines. And if there's one issue that has been on everyone's mouth or lips this week, it's the plastic bags ban. You know that is happening on Monday. It takes effect on Monday, August the 28th, and that follows an announcement by NEMA that was done in February 28th this year, giving a 6-month period for all retailers to find alternatives, to clear their stock, and get in line with this. Of course, we applaud the actions of NEMA and even the legislators for making sure that we are working towards a sustainable environment, though there's a lot of feeling that it's still a bit premature, because we are a heavily industrial country, and as it is, the government has also not offered that many alternatives in terms of packaging And they're saying the only exemptions apply to a few consumer products, which we wish we knew which consumer products are these: primary industrial packaging and waste paper bags. At least for all those, there was a lot of concerns about waste paper bags, and that's exempt, so that will still continue moving forward. But then again, there's been an interesting observation that men are the ones who are most averse to the reuse of bags. But in a way, it's true. I mean, men hardly ever carry a lot of luggage, so they don't have anywhere to throw in alternative package or walk around carrying them. Because at least with women, and I'm not being sexist here, they carry a lot of a lot of luggage on a daily basis. So if I call it that loosely, because they have their handbags, they have all manner of things to carry, so that might actually see a decline in or a change in the way men shop. They might stop shopping at big retailers and start shopping at the outlets that are just close to them, so they can finish that. And I think it's also a good thing for impulse buyers, because impulse shoppers, because they'll think twice the next time you're about to just impulsively buy things and you didn't carry anything to package your activities. Now, I've got to applaud the government for its aggressiveness and tenacity in making sure that we are a digital country. I mean, they are trying to establish 1,160 free Wi-Fi centers across the country. That is in conjunctions with counties and MPs, and even borrowing a lot from the constituency funds that are disbursed every now and then, the CDF funds, that is. So this is going to be very pivotal to our industry, because young people and even businesses will be able to tap into the online market or even the online space and grow, develop, have a bigger market reach. So it will be very interesting to see how that will roll out. I hope it does not become a botched project, or where a lot of funds have been misappropriated, and but we hope it really works out. And even more, we'd like to have a whole country connected on Wi-Fi, and be able to get internet everywhere. Now, taking you back to that issue of plastic paper bags, for those who are still struggling to understand what alternatives you might have after plastic paper bags ban take effects, you might want to attend the Alternative Eco-Friendly exhibition at KICC, taking place from the 24th to the 25th of August. It's been organized by, among others, NEMA, the Ministry of Environment, UNEP, and several other stakeholders. And the entry is free, so just go there and check out what are your alternatives in terms of packaging, because I know I'll be there, because I really need to understand how to do my shopping moving forward. Now, there's a story or an opinion commentary which is close to my heart, because if you watch the Talanta Eye, we are very passionate about talent, and for me to see a push or a lobby for reward for teachers who nurture talent, that is impeccable. The Teacher Service Commission has been urged to honor the teachers who promote the drama and music in the Kenya National Drama and Music Festival. One cannot dispute the fact that these school festivals, are where most talents get discovered. That's where most talents get launched into the industry, and we can actually see there's an appreciation of art and the way life forms are exhibited by talents in our country. It's a very interesting piece, because even the president did make a comment about it, or rather issued a directive in the Kenya National Drama Festival that happened at Kisumu State Lodge this year. He directed the TSC, that is the Teacher Service Commission, to honor the teachers who have done so much to promote the theatre, and he also asked that they be promoted to the next grade. So it's a good thing, because these teachers are selfless. They take time off their lives, they put in their sweat and tears, because they really make very, very colorful productions, and a lot of talent gets displayed in manners like this. And we are happy when we see someone is thinking about talent. This is the conversation we should be having. We should have talents taking great shape and being able to sustain themselves in a career. And it's very important that the government and even stakeholders, because this is an opinion piece by someone, and stakeholders are taking the whole initiative to do a lot of that. Let us know what you think should be done about talents in this country. It will be very interesting to have that talent discussion, because we know so many talents who get lost in our system, and we never get to see a lot of these beautiful art forms. On the Standard, I think there's governors are now more ready than ever. They're ready to hit the road running. I think with the wake of so many new governors taking position and so many others getting cast away, it's clear voters now just want performance. If you don't perform, you leave. And that's why the governor of Nyeri, Wahome Kuru, did an impromptu visit of the Nyeri County Referral Hospital immediately after he was sworn in. You know, one would expect that after the swearing in, after you take office, there's a lot of pomp and celebration that's taking place. But he hit the road running. He got right to work, and that's very good to see. I hope that this will not be momentum that will die down, and this will continue to happen, and we'll see it replicated across all county governments so that we can achieve even more. Now let's go to a story on page 32, which is the business section of the Standard. It's the third generation number plates. We are finally going to have them. This was supposed to be rolled out in 2015, but a court case lodged by one of the Netherlands-based firm, which lost the tendering process, has kept that from happening. But now that the court ruling has thrown out the case, it paves way for the new digital number plates to be put. Now the third generation digital number plates will bear the name of the owner, will have the vehicle registration, and now will have a Kenyan flag. And I think aesthetically they will also look better. I've always felt that comparing our number plates and others in countries elsewhere, there's a need to make ours look even better. And now they look better and they're functional. They will also be displayed. The number plates will also be displayed on the vehicle's engine, that will be mandatory, and in the front, the rear, and on the windscreen. That will be very important. And as we finally wrap up today, I'd like to take you to the sports section, where one of our own Lynette Masai has been feted, though a bit too late, but this is for the 2008 Beijing Olympics. She finished 4th in the 10,000 meters, but because now there were doping allegations for the athlete who finished that was I think it was a Turkish national, Elian Abelegiz. Was found positive. He tested positive for banned steroids when in a doping case that had been lodged against him, which led to Ethiopia's Trinesh Dibaba retaining her gold. Then Charlene Flanan, who won bronze, was upgraded to silver, giving Lynette Masai the chance to now be feted for the bronze. However, she did point out that there is a need to upgrade methods and ways to detect doping very early, because this is justice delayed. I mean, 2008, we're in 2017. She lost her moment of glory. We lost our moment of glory as a country. We did not get to show our flag or hoist our flag in those championships. So let us know what you think about the stories we've discussed today. What's your feeling on the going-ons? Tell us something else you might have picked up in the news or in the papers or even online, so that we can form a discussion from that. Until tomorrow, this has been today's edition of the Talanta Eye. Thank you for joining us.